Alright, so not that long ago, well, about a year ago roughly, we got Radiant Typhoon, which is Mystical Space Typhoon in monster form. It all revolves around Mystical Space Typhoon. Well, now Call of the Haunted has the same thing. So it's not exactly the same, but it's the same. All these cards are basically if you have Call of the Haunted, or it's in your graveyard, or yeah, it's all revolved around adding or setting Call of the Haunted, which is pretty cool because it makes zombies actually like even better than what they already are. Zombies is one of those types that just works. Like even in today's meta, a zombie deck can actually win because, for example, cards that require cybers, or actually, I'll give you a good example. Um, so let's see. I guess Trisporal would be a good example of this. So this requires two dark dragons. Okay. Zombie World turns everything into zombies in the graveyard and on the field. So if you're going second against a zombie deck, this can't be summoned. Okay. Um, and even in like the other version of the deck, this dragon and or winged beast monster. Okay. Let's see. Level 4 or lower dragon monster. It's two dragon monsters. Level 4 or lower dragon monster. I can keep going with this, but uh, the only thing that you can actually summon after that is, well, this stuff. You can summon Raider's Knight and go into Arc Rebellion, which is, plenty good. Um, you can't use King, a tomb, because it requires dragon monsters. Scarred Dragon Archfiend, you can use this, but, it's kind of hard to really. Well, it's not really hard to play it, but it's annoying to play it. Um, Bestial Dispater, or Dispatter, is turned off because it requires a tuner plus a non-tuner dragon monster, dragon type monster. Let's see. Blue Eyes White Dragon, what is there? Spellcaster or dragon, so that gets turned off. Two level 8 dragon monsters, that gets turned off. Let's see. This doesn't matter because it just requires a non-tuner Blue Eyes monster. This is Blue Eyes White Dragon plus 1 dragon monster, or you special summon it by attributing a Blue Eyes White Dragon equipped with a monster on the field. That's one thing that you can summon. This one is just triple Blue Eyes, so, there's obviously things that you can do, but let's look at this Dragon Maid monster plus 1 level 5 or higher dragon monster. Zombie World turns this off. Now, Draco Tail doesn't really care. It just needs to be a Draco Tail monster. So, yeah. That's really all there is to it. Like, cards that require a certain type, such as, well, Securion, or however you say his name. I don't even know how you say his name. This dude requires a dragon monster plus a spellcaster. Can't summon it because you don't control a spellcaster and a dragon monster. Same with this one, spellcaster and dragon monster. Can't summon it. Don't control a dragon or a spellcaster. This one, dragon fusion plus one level 7 or higher dragon monster. You can do this from your hand, obviously, but you can't do it from the field. So just keep that in mind. Um, Fusions are obviously a little different than links and XZs, but still, like, you can fuse from your hand. You can't fuse if you don't control them on the field. But yeah. Anyway, I'm kind of losing train of thought here and getting off topic. Let's actually talk about the cards that are coming out. They're all level 6 monsters. We got 4 level 6 monsters, 3 spells, and a trap card. Now, I put a few cards in here as well that are not new by any means, but they seem like they would go along pretty good with this archetype. But starting off, Army of the Haunted. Now, unfortunately, they don't have the pictures on here yet. They were just released, like, yesterday, so I'm kind of surprised that they even have the cards in name, to be honest with you. So, that's pretty good on them. They're pretty fast about that. If you control Call of the Haunted and this card is in your hand or your graveyard, you can special summon this card. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one Call of the Haunted in your graveyard and set it. You only use each effect of Army of the Haunted once per turn. So, if you have Call the Haunted on your field, because you used it, you can get this card out on the field for free. You can also Foolish Burial this card, and yeah, you get it for free, because you have Call the Haunted. Or, you know, you can set a Call the Haunted from your graveyard. Pretty good. Pretty good. Great Mammoth of the Netherworld. This is a zombie mammoth, or mammoth graveyard. That's what it is. Mammoth graveyard. This is a mammoth graveyard retrain, pretty sure. Which is pretty cool. If this card is special summoned, then you control Call the Haunted or a zombie monster, except for Mammoth of the Netherworld. You can target one card on the field and destroy it. That's pretty useful. You can only use this effect once per turn. A zombie XYZ monster or XZ's monster that has this card as material gains this effect. Gain 1,000 attack points. Now, the way that I understand how this is going to work, because it is worded this way, it does not say original type is a zombie. It just says a zombie monster. You can XYZ or XZs or whatever you want to call it. Let's see. Let's go XZs. And then Dragon, and let's go with rank 6. How many rank 6s are there? Let's do just rank 6. Okay. So, the way that I understand it, I could be wrong, but the way that I understand how this will actually work is if you have Zombie World on the field, which turns all monsters on the field or in the graveyard into zombies, you can use Great Mammoth of the Netherworld to XYZ or XZs, whatever, into Lars here, which is a rank 6 dragon. And when it hits the field, because you have Zombie World, it will become a zombie. So it will gain 1,000 attack points, because it is now a zombie. It's the way that I understand it. Not 100% sure that's how it's going to work, but we'll see. It's kind of a weird situation with that. Because it doesn't say original type needs to be a zombie. It just says a zombie XYZ monster that has this card as material gains 1,000 attack points. So, yeah. Anyway, moving on. Pumpkin, the King of the Grave Ghost. You can reveal this card from your hand, set one Call of the Haunted from your deck or graveyard, and if you do, discard one card. That set card can be activated this turn. Pretty neat. If this card is special summoned, you can special summon one level 6 zombie monster from your deck, except for one with 1950 attack, which, honestly, 1950 attack is very weird. It's very weird for them to make a new card that has 1950 attack. But, whatever. Also, you cannot special summon from the hand or graveyard for the rest of the turn, except for zombie monsters. So, the not being able to summon from the hand part kind of sucks, but from the graveyard, that's fine. That doesn't really matter. Also, it doesn't extra deck lock you, so yeah, you're fine. Stare of the Snake Hair. This is like a Medusa type monster, or whatever, the one with the snake hairs and turns you to stone and all that crap. You can discard this card, add one Call the Haunted or one spell or trap that mentions it from your deck to your hand. If this card is special summoned, you can target one attack position monster your opponent controls. That face-up monster cannot attack. Its effects are negated. Also, it cannot be used as material for Fusion, Synchro, XYZ, or Link. So, yeah, it basically is just there. So, kinda cool. It might kinda suck as well to use, or to have that used against you, rather. Anyway, on to the spells. Ectoplasmic Fortification. Activate one of these effects. If you control no monsters, add a level 6 zombie monster, or call the Forgotten from your deck to your hand. Almost said call the Hunted, because this deck is based around that card. Zombie monsters you control gain 400 attack points. Then draw cards equal to the number of Call the Haunteds you control. Yeah, that's pretty good. You can only use each effect, you can only activate one of these per turn. It's pretty good. Anyway, next we have Vortex of Time, which is a quick play spell. When your opponent activates a normal or quick play spell card, or effect, or monster effect, or just if your opponent activates a card that's not a trap card, how about that? While you control a zombie monster and call the Haunted, except during damage step, your opponent tosses a coin and their activated effect becomes the following effect. If it is head, your opponent must banish one monster they control. So, in this case, it would be their effect activating to be your opponent banishes one monster they control. Tails, you must banish all monsters you control. Again, in this case, it would be their effect, so it would be going to them. So it would be your opponent, but it would be... It's very weird, I know. They would have to banish all the monsters that they control if they flip and get a Tails. So, yeah. Anyway. A new field spell. When this card is activated, you can set up to 3 Call of the Haunted from your deck and or graveyard. And if you do, until the end of your opponent's turn, you cannot special summon except for zombie monsters. Or monsters from the graveyard. So this locks you into zombies. Pure zombies. You can't special summon from your hand. You can't special summon something from the graveyard that's not a zombie. So yeah, this is the one that locks you. And I'm pretty sure it will still lock you even if it leaves the field. It doesn't say that, but I'm pretty sure that's how that effect actually works. Because it says until the end of your opponent's next turn. Assuming, you don't crap this out on your opponent's turn, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, once per turn, if you activate a Call of the Haunted, you can target one monster your opponent controls, send it to the graveyard, and you can only activate one Call of the Forgotten per turn. So, because it says send it to the graveyard. Cards that, like Floral End here, cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect. Well, it's not being destroyed, it's being sent. It's just going to the graveyard. It's not being destroyed, it's just being sent. There are cards that have effects that trigger when they are sent to the graveyard. For example, let's see. This one, for example. If your opponent's playing, if it's a mirror match and you just send it to the graveyard, they get to do this effect. Yeah. So, it's a pretty good deck so far, honestly. I'm going to be doing some testing with it. I'm thinking it'll probably be like a Mayakashi or Eldritch variant. But I'm not sure. We'll just have to see. Or it could be a, zombie good stuff pile. Or I guess it would be zombie dead stuff. I don't know. Or undead. Yeah. Anyway, the trap card. If you control a zombie monster and call the haunted, target one monster your opponent controls and send it to the graveyard. If you control a zombie monster, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one face-up card you control and one face-up card your opponent controls, send them to the graveyard. You can only use one deadly zombie breath deadly zombie breath per turn and only once that turn. So you can't activate 2 of these per turn. You have to basically activate this card on your opponent's turn, and then on your turn, activate this card from the graveyard. So it's pretty good. Again, this would be one of those cards where you would send Army of the Haunted, for example. Because if this card is sent to the graveyard, you target one called Haunted in your graveyard and set it. It's actually pretty useful. The cards that I have here that are not brand new, the Immortal Ruler, for example, cannot be special summoned. You contribute this card, then target one zombie world in your graveyard, add that target to your hand. It's not a bad card. I don't think this would be very useful. It would be useful, but it's not useful at the same time, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Because you can just play cards like Terraforming, cards like Necroworld Banshee, for example, and activate another zombie world from your deck. If you have this on the field, it can't be destroyed by a card effect anyway, so that's pretty good. Then you got Glow Up Bloom. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard, add a level 5 or higher zombie. That's pretty good. Or if Zombie World is in the field zone, you can special summon it from your deck instead. So, you play Zombie World first turn, because you have Terraforming or whatever. You can just normal summon this, I guess. Or you can Foolish Burial this, actually. And then, which is what people tend to do with this, you just Foolish it from the graveyard, or from the deck to the graveyard. You play Zombie World, then Foolish Burial, Glow Up Bloom, and just immediately you get out Army of the Haunted. Or Mammoth. Yeah, there's options there. Call the Mummy lets you special summon one zombie monster from your hand. You must control no monsters to activate this effect, but I can see it being useful. If you are playing something like Eldritch, for example, it lets you just crap out a zombie. Of course, we have Zombie World. Turns everything into zombie. Call of the Haunted, which is the entire, this entire deck is going to be based around this one card, which is kind of cool. Activate this card by targeting one monster in your graveyard, special summon that target in attack position, and when this card leaves the field, destroy that monster. When that monster is destroyed, destroy this card. Then we have Delta of Invitation. When this card is activated, you can send a level 5 or higher zombie monster from your deck to the graveyard. You can only use each of the following effects of Delta once per turn. If a zombie monster is on the field, you can special summon one Delta token, which is a zombie, dark, level 5, attack 0, defense 0, which is pretty good. If a monster is added from graveyard to hand while this card is in your graveyard, except during the damage step, you can add this card to your hand. So this has recursion, which is pretty good. So yeah, that's some of the cards I think will go good with the main deck anyway. For the extra deck, I haven't really seen them yet. I don't honestly know if there are very many good zombie. Let's see. Zombie. There's the old school zombie stuff, like. Let's see. Obviously we're going to go dark. Stars, let's see. Level 6 and 9. Let's do that. How many of those are there? Let's go a little lower, shall we? Let's go just rank 6. Yeah, that's about what I figured. There's not really enough stuff here to make a decent, to make a very good extra deck for this deck, but, you could probably do it. But speaking of extra deck, Pumpkin, the Great Ghost King. 2 level 6 zombie monsters. Pretty good. It's nice that it requires zombie monsters, so you won't see this in, like, a warrior deck, obviously. Though you might if, they play Zombie World for whatever reason, which would be weird. While you control Call the Haunted, your opponent cannot target zombie monsters you control with monster effects. That's actually good. You can only use each of the following effects of Great Ghost King once per turn. If this card is special summoned, you can add one Call the Haunted or card that mentions it from your deck to your hand. Okay. You can detach one material from this card, then target up to 2 cards on the field and return them to the hand. Decent. Undying Legion. 2 level 7 monster. Once per turn, you can also exceed summon Undying Legion by using a rank 6 zombie monster you control. Rank 6 zombie exceeds monster. Whatever. During your opponent's main phase, quick effect, you can detach 2 materials from this card, or just 1 if all the card's materials are exceeds monster. Then target 1 attack position monster your opponent controls, or 1 monster in their graveyard, attach it to this card. You're probably going to use, you're probably going to do that from their field, most likely. However, if they are doing something like, for example, they're targeting Blue Eyes White Dragon and trying to special summon it, and this is on the field, you can just go, quick effect, I'm going to take that Blue Eyes from the graveyard and I'm going to attach it to this zombie. Why? Because reasons. That's why. So, yeah. I honestly think this will be a decent deck. I also think that because of how good it actually looks to be, it's going to be stupid expensive, unfortunately. Because Radiant Typhoon is not cheap. It's not even that good of a deck. And it's like, you'd spend over $100 just getting the core. Actually, I think the core 3 of everything is about $250. That's with tax and shipping and all that stuff. At least in the US. So, it's pretty freaking expensive. You can get a pretty good meta deck for 200 bucks. I think you can get Mitsurugi Ryzel for about the same price, about 200 bucks. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less. I don't know. Really depends on whether or not you want the Volcharmies, I guess. But, I mean, I think this will be a good deck. But I also think it will be stupid expensive. So, yeah. Um, just a little kind of a funny update here about the rocket stuff, actually. Let's do this one. So, the new stuff here, um, it was released about a week or so ago at this point. When it first released, all of the cards were multiple dollars. Right now, the only one that's more than $1 is this one, and this is $4.48 per copy, and that is the majority of the cost of the main right here. The extra deck stuff isn't even $1. What's funny is, I was gonna pre-order the stuff. It was gonna be $50 to pre-order this stuff. People are crazy when it comes to pricing. Like, that's insane. I hope nobody actually bought the pre-release, like, paid the pre-release prices. I really do. Because you got ripped off. Like, you got really ripped off. Because I'll be honest with you, until Breach Boral, Liberator, and Barrage come out, this deck is not going to be that great. When when those two actually come out, or these three rather, when they come out, the deck will shoot up in price, I'm sure, and it will actually be pretty good. I think the new topologic monster, let's see, I think this card is, yeah, it's like, it's not even $2, so, yeah. Um, yeah, I really think, um, if you think you want to play Rocket, I would highly recommend that you buy the stuff now. And hope that that Breach Boral and Liberator and Barrage don't make the deck go up to $100 again. Or over $100. Um, so, yeah. Right now, as it sets, this deck is like 30 bucks, 40 bucks. So, yeah. You're pretty good if you get the stuff now to play it later. I think you'll be in a good situation there, a good spot. Because, you know, it's just losing my train of thought. Holy crap. Um, but yeah, I think if you get the new Rocket stuff right now, then you'll be smart. Uh, because that stuff will probably go up later. The whole Rocket engine will probably go up later. Um, because it will actually be a decent deck. This deck, I unfortunately think will probably be expensive. And when I say expensive, I'm not necessarily talking about like, $200, $300, $400. I'm talking about at least $100 for the new stuff. Without this stuff. Um, that's just kind of how I see it. I think it'll be probably $100 to $200 for the new stuff. Which, I mean, if the deck actually does good, like if it does really good, which I can see it potentially doing really good. Um, but yeah, if it does actually really good, then I can see it being worth that much money. I just don't think it's going to be really a meta contender. But then again, Radiant Typhoon isn't really a meta contender, technically. Depending on how you build it. I mean, Runic Typhoon is pretty good, and very annoying. But honestly, I don't know. I'm hoping that this deck is not going to be stupid expensive. I'm hoping that it's going to be one of those things that people see it and they're just like, it's not really that good. It's kind of crap, so I'm not even going to bother buying it. I'm not even going to bother really selling it for very much. You want it for 50 bucks, you can have it for 50 bucks. You can have 3 of everything for 50 bucks. Or less. Or 20 bucks, actually. That would be better. 20 bucks for 3 of everything would be great. Anyway, um, I've been rambling for like 10 minutes at this point, so I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. If you liked the video, leave me a like if you would. And yeah. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Leave a comment. Tell me what you thought about the deck. And, you know, subscribe. I'm losing my train of thought. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon. Let me know what you thought in the comment section. So, yeah. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.